Hello and welcome to this video where I'll be discussing the discography of JPEGMafia, one of my favorite artists out right now. He goes by many names: Peanut Butter Thug, Buttermilk Jesus, Peggy of course. And the reason why I wanted to do this video is because he just dropped his new album titled I Lay Down My Life For You, which I will be doing a separate review on, although I will be discussing it in this video as well. And yeah, I thought it would be a fun idea to kind of go through his discography. I haven't went through and listened to like Black Ben Carson or Veteran in a very, very long time, so I figured, hey, why not? Like I said, this will only be covering the albums and EPs he's released under the name JPEGMafia. I know he's did some stuff under Devon Hendrix, and if you're a fan, I highly recommend going out and seeking those. I think one of them is on DSPs right now, so you should be able to find that under the name Devon Hendrix. Well, alright, without further ado, let's get into Black Ben Carson, which came out in 2016, the year that I actually graduated. And at this point in time, Peggy was nowhere near my radar. I had no idea who he was. I honestly didn't discover him until 2019, I believe, like after Veteran or a little before Veteran. And I gotta be honest with you, this is probably the project that I go back to the least amount of times, just because I only have a handful of tracks saved from it. I will be going through also and giving my three favorite tracks from each project. So I'll kind of give you my three after I start discussing the album. This one kicks everything off, and Peggy did not come to play. I mean, the first song, Drake Era, the way it starts too almost sounds like an episode of Cops or like Miami Vice. That kind of like, that sound just reminded me of the 80s so much. And also like the beat that kind of starts in the beginning of the song. And he comes out hard, immediately, aggression. If I had to best describe it, I'd describe it as him swinging on the listener with his production as well as his rhymes. I mean, even the second track, All Caps No Spaces, it literally feels like the beat, like he's almost coming out of the headphones and almost like wanting to grab you, It's super noisy and super experimental, all things that I really enjoy. Okay, so right now I'll go into my three favorite songs in the project. The first one will be You Think You Know, which kind of plays into the whole You Think You Know Me tag that he'd eventually go on to use from Edge, of all people's theme song. And Peggy has so many wrestling references. It kind of gives him major brownie points whenever I was started listening to his music, because I was like, oh, he sampled Edge's theme, and then the references to like AJ Styles, which I'll get into on Veteran, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens. I mean, he even has a song called The Black Steve Austin on this album. But yeah, You Think You Know starts off with these delicate as like strings. It sounds very, very gentle. And then as soon as you hear that kind of like, I want to call it a drum, that kind of just like aggressive ass drum that he throws in there, it kind of makes this pattern. There's also a part around the 1 minute and 30-second mark where it kind of morphs into this almost like, I don't know, man, it reminds me of like Tron or a video game, this kind of beat that also goes into there. He's always switching it up so effortlessly, but when he switches it up on here, it really sounds like, damn, dude, I don't know, man. Like I said, some like Tron or electronic stuff that I really, really dug. Honestly, like I said, I'm gonna mention it later on, and especially with this current project. But I could totally see this guy doing a score to a movie one day, or maybe a documentary, easily. He definitely has the talent for it. Okay, the next song I want to talk about is, I guess, a controversial song. I remember looking this up, or when I first started listening to it. I didn't really know what was going on in the beginning. The title of the track is I Just Killed a Cop and Now I'm Horny. So I do want to mention that the beginning of the song actually features a audio sample of, I believe, a cop pulling someone over who unfortunately ended up getting killed. And that kind of explains where the controversy and, heaviness that people, throw into the track. I don't know, man. I don't know what it says about me, but I didn't really like get super offended or anything like that. I actually think the track does a pretty good job at showing the frustrations that he has, seeing police brutality and just seeing like people probably being, and certainly the discrimination he might have faced, coming up, whether it be in the army or just as a kid, just kind of the racist things he's probably seen. There's an actual interview, I can't remember which one it was, but he talks to somebody but he actually talked about doing shows in like southern areas, and just stirring up shit, just getting shit started, because he was doing songs kind of like berating the like super right wing, and just kind of like shitting and trashing all over him in the actual like in those primary locations. So like I said, I understand why people would like chirp on it, but it didn't bother me too much. And also, like I said, you get a good understanding of why he's so fucking pissed off. And there's also this haunting ass beat that goes onto it that's just looming over the whole track. The whole dun 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 dun, real like, I mean, it's catchy, it's very melodic. I enjoyed it a lot. Almost like a lullaby, to be honest with you. It really reminded me of that. Like, now that I think about it, it reminds me of like a lullaby. But yeah, that elevated the track completely to me. And him kind of mentioning who's gonna weep when these crackers die, again, kind of referencing the whole controversy around police brutality. Also, one of the main reasons why I enjoy his music is because he doesn't cut corners, and there's really no subliminal shit in here. You know, through all his albums, he's pretty direct with what he's talking about. It doesn't take like, I mean, there's genius that kind of like, you know, helps you, you know, go through his lyrics. And I highly recommend anyone who's listening to his music to listen to it through headphones, as well as follow along with lyrics, because he does sneak some shit in there in terms of like, you know, sometimes the production could be louder than like his audio. But yeah, nah, dude. I mean, just looking at the title of the song, he doesn't bullshit you, you know, which I think I appreciate a lot as a listener. There's no bullshit. He's not bullshitting the listener. He's giving you his opinion straight up. He's shooting straight with you the whole time is what I'm trying to get at. Which I appreciate as a listener. One of the reasons why the whole Drake and Kendrick shit, you know, beforehand never really interested me, because it was all subliminal shit. It was all hearsay or like theories, which was fun to look into, but at the same time I was kind of like, just say his fucking, you know, just say each other's names, you know, straight up, say who you're talking about, you know what I mean? Or say how you feel, rather. And Peggy definitely lets the listener know how he's feeling every single time. Okay, so the next track I want to discuss is the 27 Club. I'm actually 27 years old myself at the time of this recording, so it kind of, you know, a little wink there. If you're not sure what the 27 Club is, it's basically a club of famous actors, musicians, I believe. Really, I think it's just more musicians, people who died at the age of 27. There's also this kind of bullshit theory that like they all had like white Bic lighters in their pockets, but I don't think that's true. You'd be talking about like Jimi Hendrix, Kurt Cobain. I believe Amy Winehouse made the 27 Club as well. That's probably like the more recent one that I can remember. Pretty much showcasing the kind of rough lifestyle that they lived and circumstances of their career, where it kind of like, it's almost not a badge of honor, but you could say like, oh, I survived the 27 Club. You know what I mean? Like for me, example, if I make it past 28 or I make it past 27 and I become 28, I could totally say, hey, I made it past the 27 Club. You know, just a little, I'm not sure if anyone's like not aware of that, but that's kind of what the track is referencing to. Honestly, the main reason why I like this track is because it seems so straightforward compared to the other songs on the album in terms of like production or anything like that. It's kind of like a beat, I assume a sample, or I'm not sure how Peggy made this one. But it's very like direct, you know, it's very kind of I don't want to say, it's just really straightforward, and I think it serves as a good breath of fresh air on this crazy ride that you're on with this album. So I'm actually going to be ranking these as I go, kind of the S tier to I think what's the lowest, D or E. I don't think we're going to see any of that here. I'll probably put this at the B tier, I'll be honest with you. B or maybe even C tier, to be honest with you. I'm thinking how I'm gonna rank the other ones right now, so I don't want to fuck it up later. Yeah, man, I think I'm gonna put it at the C category, I'll be honest with you. But I just can't see myself really going back to it as much. I have it on my phone, like I said, I have a handful of tracks saved, but I just don't really listen to it like that, man. So I'm actually gonna put it at, C's tough though. C's so close to D. It kind of like trips me up a little bit. Fuck it, I'll put it at B. I'll put it at B just for the creativeness alone is crazy. Cool. So after that, we'll talk about the album that I think got a lot of people into JPEGMafia, including myself, Veteran. And honestly, man, I feel like a lot of people kind of discovered JPEG's music through Fantano, the internet's busiest music nerd. But not myself. I totally discovered him through Dead in Hip Hop, which is another YouTube channel that actually I think has collaborated with Fantano a couple times. On the very first track, 1539 North motherfucking Calvert. I need a bitch with long hair like Mike Seatown. Mike Seatown was one of the members of Dead in Hip Hop who has dreads, who always had his hair long. And the fact that, you know, immediately once I heard that line, I was like, what the fuck? Like, just the fact that Mike Seatown, of all people, gets a reference. He's actually one of the main reasons why I tuned into Dead in Hip Hop, just because he gave perspective on different things that the group would cover. I don't even want to mention Death Grips on a JPEG video, but Death Grips, I think Clipping as well he talked about. I'm trying to think. I think there was a guy named Blackie that he kind of put me onto that I used to listen to for a little bit. Who else? But yeah, pretty much Mike would be the voice of like experimental music, which I always appreciated, and he would put me on to a lot of stuff, even like Billy Woods and Arm & Hammer. So I remember seeing their review for Veteran, and I kind of said, well, damn, let me check it out, let me see like what he said. And man, 1539 North Calvert is one of my favorite songs on the album. Just kicks things off so well, you know, showcases production really well. He seemed like he almost calmed down a bit. He gets crazy on track 2. But it almost seems like, it's funny because this is actually one of the songs that I show to friends when I'm trying to get them and kind of nudge them towards JPEGMafia. I'm like, oh, check this song out. and they notice that You Think You Know Me, and they say, oh shit, that's from Edge, this and that, kind of slowly, easing them into to JPEGMafia. Things get really crazy with track 2, where he sampled Oh Dirty Bastard, of all people, ODB. Shit, before I forget, there's actually something I want to do with each of these projects, because I think he's done it for each of them. There's like alternate album covers. So there's one that's going to be on my right, which is the one that like sometimes like reverts back to on Apple Music. I don't know if that's an Apple Music thing or what, where it's just kind of like a side profile of JPEG for Black Ben Carson, that I don't really fuck with that cover that much, to be honest with you. It just seems like basic, and basic should be the furthest thing from JPEGMafia. I prefer the second cover, or the one that I have now. I think that one has like the instrumentals on Apple Music, so they actually have that one on there as well, which is just him and this girl. I don't know who the girl is, but they have these sick ass green jackets. That color of green, oh my god, super nice, super nice. And you have like a low key, like the Confederate flag just kind of dangling in the background. I prefer that cover more than I do the side profile one of him, very much so. But yeah, he has this crazy ODB sample of him just yelling that he kind of chopped into this beat. That is hilarious. It honestly is like one of the craziest fucking songs I've ever played in my car. And just seeing my friend Fernando's reaction to it was just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, the shock of his face, and almost like, he's a good tester when it comes to music, because I played him. I remember at first he did not like Westside Gunn's voice for like the longest time, and now whenever like Westside drops a new project, he's the one sending me the shit and being like, yo, check it out. But seeing him experience JPEG rapping over ODB, yelling at the top of his lungs, was just peak, super peak. So actually be my second favorite track on the album. The third would be Baby I'm Bleeding. Baby I'm Bleeding, fantastic song. And it's funny the way he starts it, man, just saying like fuck and shit over and over again, like in the beginning of the beat, and it really sounds like the beat is kind of like fucking with him in a way. I don't know if this is what he's like if this is what he intended or not, but it just really sounds like the beat's fucking with him, and he's almost trying to catch the beat to start rapping over it. And you just hear it go boing boing boing, like just fucking spazzing out the beat is. And then but once he starts rapping and he gets into it, oh my god, peak. I mentioned earlier, he mentions AJ Styles. I have so many styles. You could call me Peggy AJ. Fantastic. I got a wrestling reference in there. You get a Deontay Wilder, the Bronze Bomber reference in there, who I actually think, let me see if I have this shit. Yeah, I have these gloves that I got when I went to Vegas whenever he fought Tyson Fury for the third time. Fury Wilder 3, I think. And I'm getting Wilder. Shout out to Deontay. Like, again, boxing references are crazy. The wrestling references are crazy. Also, the Count Me Out in Barks, though. Count Fettuccine. Just a line that, like, is silly, but I just love it so much, man. Honestly, like, it just sounds... The mention of, like, Italian pasta in this fucking wild-ass song that he's rapping about, or this wild-ass song that he's, like, giving us is crazy. I love that song so much, dude. But yeah, my overall thoughts on Veteran, I mean, crazy. I mean, definitely a level up from Black Ben Carson. I think his production and almost, I would want to say, cohesiveness, which is kind of crazy to think about, because with some of these beats and transitions, I think people just hear this and like, oh, that's noise, and they kind of like downplay it. But man, the production and the experimental nature of some of these songs is pretty wild, pretty crazy. And the fact that he actually makes this work, I can't remember what song it is, but I think it's Baby I'm Bleeding. He has like a Mortal Kombat like smoke. He has like a Mortal Kombat sample randomly where homeboy's just saying smoke. It's like, I don't know if the character selection or what, but shit like that, like little things like that I could only imagine, like. And he does this thing that I think I do, where if you follow me on social media, there's times where I'll post on my story, and it'll be very specific. I'd want it almost to be like maybe 1 and 2 other people know about what the fuck I'm talking about, and I do that quite often. You know what I mean? And people don't really know what the fuck I'm saying on there, whether it be a song, a meme, whether it's be me like a caption on like a blank, you know what I mean, the create mode on fucking Instagram. And I do it, it's very specific, and I would almost like want to direct something. This is a side tangent, obviously, but like I'd want to like direct something and put in references like that. Excuse me. Or like make like a short film that has those kind of references in there, where it's just like literally like 5 people would know what the fuck I'm talking about in the theater, you know? I don't know. This is a dream of mine, but I think Peggy does shit like that himself. Not sure if that's true or not. I'm just kind of, I don't want to put words out there for him. But goddamn, man, like little shit like that I catch, I'm just like, what? Also, his ad libs are hilarious. Anytime he's like, damn, Peggy, after a tough line, like, always cracks me up. But yeah, Veteran would go in the, let me see. I'm going A with Veteran. I definitely prefer it over Black Ben Carson. Also, before I forget, like I did the other one. So for Veteran, there's 2 covers. There's the cover of him. I don't want to point because I'm going to fuck it up. But there's a cover, the one that's on everyone where he's just kind of on a porch, it looks like. I really like that cover a lot. That'll probably be the one that I go over. In comparison to the one that's like it runs with the ODB cover, the one of like his ID. I don't know if that's like his actual ID. I think it is. It's like a Louisiana ID that he had, or if that's the first one he got out of like whenever he got like what was it called? I won't say dismissed. What the fuck is it? Discharged from the military. Whenever he got that, so I don't know if that's the ID that he got then, but that one's cool. I think he actually sells like a rolling tray that has like his ID on there, which I've been like debating on getting just because I like am such a huge fan of him. But I would go with the cover that's on most. I would go with the cover that most people use on this one. Okay, after that we go to All My Heroes Are Cornballs. I want to get the dates right on this, which came out in 2019. And I don't know if this is controversial or not amongst the JPEG community or JPEG fans, because I don't really keep up with the fandom as much as I probably should. To be honest with you, I am a huge fan of them. Man, I really like All My Heroes Are Cornballs more than I do Veteran and Black Ben Carson. Black Ben Carson, I think, is like a given, but I feel like people always say Veterans is his classic, and I don't know, man. I don't know. All My Heroes Are Cornballs is like legit one that I listen to. Like, I listen to it way more than Veteran. I'll be honest with you, like way more than Veteran. I really do feel like on this album he kind of started honing in on what he does and kind of giving the listener a best of both worlds here. Because you have songs that are straightforward, because you do have songs on here that are like mostly straightforward, like Jesus Forgive Me, I'm a Thought. The production is crazy, but for the most part it's like a song where it's like rap, rhyme, rap, chorus, rap, you know what I mean? He gives you that. He gives you some very, very melodic stuff on this album. That's one of the reasons why I do like it. I actually enjoy Peggy whenever he's in that kind of like melodic bag, that kind of Call Me Maybe fucking bag that he's into. I really enjoy when he's on that shit, bro. I'll be honest with you, like those are some of my favorite songs of his. But yeah, just kind of my general thoughts before I get into my favorite tracks. I just think it flows a lot better than Veteran or Black Ben Carson did. Veteran isn't, like I said, I don't want to get too hung up on comparing Veteran and this one, but I just really enjoyed this one more. I don't know if it's a personal or a hot take or anything like that, but All My Heroes is just fantastic, man. Fantastic. Also, the album cover is crazy. There's before I forget, I'll do this real quick. There's the alternate, I think, for the vinyl, which is like him with like a bandana on. It's like a close-up of Peggy, and then there's the one that's on like DSPs. I actually prefer the one on DSPs, to be honest with you. That shot of him just kind of crouched is it's just fantastic, bro. It's just super colorful, and I think the way everything is kind of like I don't know how much editing they did to the photo, but man, it looked fantastic. I really enjoy that shit, especially when he's talking about like his grandma's hand-me-downs on the album. It just makes me immediately think of that. So my first favorite track on here would be Thought Tactics. Your shit don't bump that is not proactive. I love this song so much, man. This song, the whole melodic shit in the beginning of this song, the whole I want to rock your world, I want to be your girl, the way he's like singing that is just fantastic. He also has a reference that I believe is to Green Day. I haven't looked this up yet, but he has a line where he's like, let me make sure I don't fuck this up. He says, "Hope you had the time of your life because it's over for you when I come around." And then he just yells, "Let's go!" Fucking hype, bro. Every time that happens, it gets me super, super gassed up. I fucking love that song, dude. I love that song so much. Perfect mix of aggression, perfect mix of melody, perfect mix of everything. The beat sounds good, everything. I just love that song so much. Okay, so the next one would be Free the Frail. What probably JPEGMafia's most beautiful song, to be honest with you. Although his last album, the one that just came out last week, has some really beautiful moments on that as well. But this one is just super positive, man, and actually very uplifting, which is something that, like, I don't know if I'd ever say. I never thought I would say about a JPEG album, or a song rather, just because I think maybe, I don't know if it's me, but I think he comes across maybe as like a pessimist, you know what I mean, where he's kind of like just kind of dealing with reality and kind of dealing with what the fuck he has to do to like make a living and what he has to do to like just live in this earth and live in this world, which I'm kind of the same way as well. So I see him, I feel him on that. But yeah, super uplifting song. Like, if it's good, then it's good. The shit is out of my hands. Like, oh man, it's just very uplifting, and it's a good like reset. I think it comes at a really good point in the album, and it's also, like I said, a reset in terms of, for me at least, it kind of helps me not trip about shit that I probably shouldn't be tripping on. You know, Mac Miller, shout out to Mac Miller, R.I.P. He has a good line that's like, "I'm busy tripping over some shit that hasn't even happened yet," or something like that. I believe it's on Circles. And that's so true. You know, that's so true, where it's just like you're worried about and stressing about something that hasn't even occurred yet, you know, rather than actually like do the things to get to that point and then deal with it then. I don't know. I really enjoyed this song. Also, I want to shout out the person that's singing at the end of this, Miss Helena Deland, who, man, at the end of this song, whenever Peggy's done, you just hear her voice, and it sounds so intimate, and it sounds so fucking clean and clear. I've never really heard a song sound that fucking clear, or an audio sound that clear. It's like she's like right there in your ear, bro. Like I said, I recommend listening to the music with headphones, but man, it sounds like she's really like right there, and has this beautiful like little part that she does. God, it's just beautiful. Her voice is perfect, literally like a perfect thing. I would not change anything about that song. Before I get into the last one, I do want to mention some honorable mentions. Like I said, I love the album. I really love the album so much. But I do want to talk about, Post-Verified Lifestyle, which I believe this is the one that he showed to Denzel Curry, where he shows him, and then Denzel Curry. Oh, also, I kind of fucked it up, but this is the most disappointing album. That was kind of the big meme going into, that's kind of the big meme going into the release of this, that, everyone's disappointed. I think he had James Blake on and Denzel Curry, and it was like Denzel Curry's disappointed, James Blake is disappointed. I think Kenny Beats was disappointed. Funny shit, but I think this is the one that he shows Denzel. And I remember thinking, like, hearing the first half, and I was kind of like Denzel at first, where I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, why did you change that up? Why would you change that up? It sounded so hard, you know? But I actually like what he does on this, and I actually like the way he switches it up, especially where he's like, where the girl that he's with is saying, we're playing with pencils for fun, and he's like, we're playing with pistols for fun. All the gun references Becky does is like awesome. I'm not even a gun guy, but shit, she gets me hyped, makes me want to get a Kimber, bro. The amount of times I've been wanting to buy a Kimber, are you kidding me? Listening to this man, I was looking up when my boy Paul came from Korea. Shout out to Paul. I was looking up Kimbers, I was looking up fucking different coats and shit for him, different accessories that have. That's just nice. But anyway, he also has a good line where he's saying, what was he say? Incredible. Took an edible and heard my keyboard mutter to me, which, I mean, like, I'll be honest with y'all, whenever I do take edibles, they hit me very, very hard compared to other things, compared to wax, compared to bowls, compared to blunts, joints. I don't know why, I don't know why, but edibles be hitting me super, super hard. So I relate to that a lot, especially whenever I take some and edit these videos. I also want to mention the last track as an honorable mention, Poppy, I Missed You. I kind of relate this one. I think this one kind of reminded me of Thought Tactics, and I kind of went with Thought Tactics over this one, but Poppy, I Missed You is also an awesome like way to end this. Just super aggressive, just a reminder of like, yeah, I'm not one to fuck with, you know. It's perfect into the album. But let me go back to my last favorite song, Jesus Forgive Me on My Thought. I mean, the first song, and the fucking line on this in the chorus, show me where the prophets go, show me how to keep my pussy closed, which I had loved the song so much that I didn't even realize that's what the fuck he's saying. I just loved the way he was like rapping and the way everything was like flowing together. It wasn't until I think I sent Fernando this song as well, and we were outside on the balcony like smoking up. He's like, what the fuck was that song you sent me earlier? What was that chorus? And I was playing it, and he's like, yeah, that part. And I was like, oh shit. I looked at the lyrics, and I was like, what the fuck? Damn, my camera totally stopped. I believe there's a Genius breakdown for Jesus Forgive Me on My Thought. So if you want to check that out, and him kind of breaking down the lyrics himself, and not just reading the annotation, go ahead and check that out for sure. But yeah, I mean, guys, I think I'm gonna fucking get voice meter out the way. Honestly, dude, I'm putting this shit at S tier. I'm a big fan of this album. I actually really, really enjoy it. I think it's like super fantastic. It's my favorite of his first 3 albums under the name JPEGMafia, and It's perfect, man. I wouldn't change anything about it. I really enjoyed this. I remember, I don't know if it was last year or the other year, me and my brother were riding around Christmas shopping and getting my mom a gift for her birthday and just playing this over and over again. And he was like, that's when he first started getting into JPEGMafia. And seeing him like become a fan through this album really like elevates it as well. Okay, so before the release of his next studio album, he actually came out with 2 EPs, EP and EP2. And funny enough, before doing this video, and doing the research for this video and kind of listening to all of his projects, I had actually never heard EP1. So I actually had heard most of the songs on here though. Bald, Covered in Money, Cutie Pie, those end up actually being on LP. I think LP, or I don't know if they're on the offline version, because I don't think Bald is on the offline version, but you know, those songs were already on there, so I kind of heard them before. But I do want to talk about the last 2, especially like Living Single, which kind of sees more melodic JPEG, like I said, which I really enjoy, as I mentioned earlier. Also this heavy, I mean, I don't want to say heavy, this fat fucking bass that just like, oh man, it just be thumping, bro. It'd be it'd be thumping, to be honest with you. Like hearing this song, Living Single, and him kind of rapping, and then him throwing those basses in there, holy shit. Fantastic. I had never heard that song before until I started listening to this shit, in order. One of my favorite JPEGMafia songs of all time now, honestly. Like, fantastic. Okay, and the next song would be Super Tuesday, which kind of ends the EP off. Another fantastic song. This beat, I want to say what it reminds me of. It kind of reminds me of, like, I think, 92711 from Action Bronson on Blue Chips. That's kind of like very, I don't even know how to describe those kind of songs, dude. It's just very, like, it's a vibe. I don't want to be very generic and say it's a vibe, but I don't know. This shit reminded me of like Christmas time, bro. I used to always listen to Blue Chips when I was like around Christmas time or like wrestling season back in high school. But yeah, Peggy's rapping his ass off. He's going off again. Probably the most rapping he's done on a track, to be honest with you. There's really like no chorus or anything like that. He's just rapping his ass off. And I actually love the line, "How you claim to be a punk but you're not moshing." And if you've been to a JPEG show, which I have, it's just fantastic. So as with Living Single, I hadn't heard this song before, and I really enjoyed it. There's actually a beat switch halfway through, and then he starts switching up his flow, and just he kind of slows it down a little bit. But I like when he does that shit because it makes every word that he says impactful. It almost makes you like, it kind of leaves you hanging on every word that he says, if that makes any sense. But fantastic. I loved EP1. I would actually put it in the... Oh, before I do that, there's 2, or I think there's actually 3 alternate covers to this one that I found online. There's the one that I'm going to be using, like the one of the side profile of this chick. I'm not sure who she is. I assume Peggy's girlfriend at the time, or, still. And then there's one of just Peggy, which is kind of, again, it's a good photo. I like that photo of Peggy a lot, but like it's... Again, I don't know if it fit this one. I think this little EP was very unique, and I would actually prefer. I'd actually go with the one that's on DSPs, the kind of side profile of the girl. There's also one of like that same girl, I think, in a pool or something like that. You see some cheeks. I mean, I'm not against cheeks, but I'll probably go with the side profile on this one. And I would rank it in the... Shit, bro. I'll probably rank it in the A category. Cool. After that, he followed it up with EP2. Which I believe came out a couple months later in February. I think the other one was in December. This is in February 2021. Fantastic. I actually really enjoy this one more than I do EP1. I don't know if it's because I heard this one before, and I hadn't heard the other one, but I had heard EP2. Super aggressive on this one as well. Very, very like gun heavy topics. Very melodic though. That's the other thing too. He does that shit so well where it's like this catchy ass song, but he's talking about like blasting motherfuckers, bro. Like, what song is it? I'll talk about my 2 favorite songs on here real quick. Fix Yourself would be the first favorite track, and the second one would be This One's For Us. And Fix Yourself might go down as one of my favorite JPEG songs of all time. Just talking about his ops, just shitting on his fucking... And it's funny, bro, because like listening to JPEG, it gets me hyped over like people that I don't like in this world or on this earth. And truthfully, I really just like dislike like one person that I could say I actively like do not like and don't fuck with at all. And it's like a side tangent, but like this man be making me aggressive, bro. I'm not gonna hold you. Like listening to this shit, I was just like, damn, like it really makes me want to steal off on a motherfucker, to be honest with you. I don't want to advocate for violence, but This shit is so, and a track like this, which I said, which is so melodic. Let me talk about the chorus real quick. I went from nothing to slutting. It wasn't easy, babe. Shout out my babes and my husbands. I love y'all equally. Every morning I body shame. I can't stand my face. Dude, I love that line. You know, I can't stand my face, the body shame one. Just because, like, doing this shit, to be honest with y'all guys, is, like, super hard for me. It's tough for me to, like, hear myself on the audio side of things, especially when I first started doing the podcast. Jesus, it took me forever to, like, edit one episode. I hated the way it sounded. And the video portion of this, like, I always assume would be difficult just because, like, I don't like staring at myself. Or I kind of, like, walk quickly through mirrors and shit. Unless I got a fresh fade. If I got a fade and I'm looking clean, then all right, cool. Like right now I'm kind of like, you know, hesitant on even editing this shit, or like maybe I'll throw on like an editing, like not a fucking filter, but like, you know, one of those like looks they have on Adobe Premiere. I don't know, but I relate to him on that song a lot. I also like the part where he says, shout out my refugees, my fans, my family. It's so tragic, baby, who provided for you. I love this song so much, dude. All right, hopefully I'm not too long in the tooth. I'll go with the second one, which would be This One's For Us. Well, he just really comments on, I don't even know how to describe it. It'd be like white. Well, who's he shitting on? I mean, on this one, it'd be like hypocritical white people, or maybe like fake supportive people, if that makes any sense. Kind of like fake activists, maybe. You know what I'm saying? He was talking about like posting your black squares. He talks about people posting their black squares whenever like something happens. You know, you always see on social media people just post a black square. I believe like that was for police brutality, which I don't think I ever done. I don't think I ever did that, just because I was just like, what? I'd rather just go protest or do something that like something physical. You know what I mean? Something I could actually feel that I'm like doing something, or like putting this like negative energy I have towards the justice system, and like at least like, you know, go out and, you know, hold a sign up. At least like I took photos at the time. I believe I don't know if this is, and I believe he's referencing the George Floyd stuff. So like whenever that happened, I went downtown, took photos. It was when I first started getting into photography, like seriously like that, and saw the whole protest. Went there, and it was crazy. But you have to go and get your hands dirty. You feel me? Like just posting a black square online is just such like a fucking. It's almost like the pray for my city kind of shit, or the like retweet to save, you know, just it's just like digital hugs and shit like that, where I'm just kind of like not with it, to be honest with you. And he is definitely not, and Peggy's definitely not with it. But yeah, he's super aggressive on this track, talking about like how he doesn't waste a round or some shit. Like the way he ends it is just so fucking tough, bro. I'm like, god damn, like. Oof, that shit's aggressive as fuck. I fuck with it though. Okay, after that we'll go into 2021's Offline, which is also titled LP on DSPs. And I believe they have Offline as well on Apple Music at least. So you have both. You have LP, which he had to release. I think he had to like rush to complete, if I remember correctly. And I don't know if this is true or not, but I think I read somewhere, I heard someone say that the original title was "I Have Fulfilled My Contractual Obligations." Because I guess he was unhappy with his label at the time and just kind of like wanted to get it over with and kind of like, you know, finish it off. But he ended up naming it LP or Offline, whichever one you want to reference it to. Ooh, I almost forgot. Going back to EP2, I believe there's 3 covers. I keep throwing this shit in there, but it's just fun because I like that he does this. There's 3 covers, and all of them are him and his girl in the car, or him and a girl in the car. I don't want to say this is a girl. I'll go with the one on DSPs. I'll go with the main one. I think that one looks the best. Oh shit, I almost fucked up as well. Damn, real quick, I would put EP2. I might even put it at S tier, bro. I'll be honest with you. I really fuck with this album. I'll put it at S tier. Fuck it. Before I fuck up again, back to LP. Yeah. Back to what I was saying. I think this is absolutely perfect, to be honest with you. I think this is the point where JPEG leveled up and really made something that just was, I don't know how to describe it, man. It really is like, it's tough for me to describe because looking back and then listening to the way I did, listening to like every project that he did beforehand, this one was fantastic, man. And like I would always look at people's reaction videos to his music, especially LP, and I kind of did it myself, just kind of get a refresher. I feel like it'd be funner instead of me just listening to the music to kind of get other people's opinion on it and see what they think, their first thoughts on it. And shout out to Playas Reviews. I think that's their channel, as well as Bob the Pop Pop. Shout out to Bob. Shout out to Player Reviews. Turning the Tables as well. Seeing their first reaction to this album is fantastic, and it just reminded me of how great this shit is, because it really is incredible, man. To me, like I said, this is perfect. This is like peak JPEG. This is like, if I had to show somebody, like, what would you describe, like show me a project that I could go to. All My Heroes would be good, but I don't know if it's like as complete as this one, especially because I think this is like, what, 20 tracks? So he's giving you a lot. He's giving you a lot of shit. And a lot of people consider this his best album. A lot of people say that he leveled up to this point where, like, this is his best album. But I think this is a perfect showcase of his skills when it comes to production, when it comes to rapping. No, I definitely think this is a perfect album to show. If you're trying to get somebody into JPEGMafia, I think this would be probably the most accessible. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but the DLC to Scaring the Hoes will probably be the most accessible as well. That being said, this is still a creative album, and when it comes to production and everything like that. Okay, so I want to get into my favorite tracks of the album. First being Sick, Nervous, and Broke, or Tired, Sick, Nervous, and Broke. I think it's titled differently on Offline. Fantastic, dude. Fantastic song, the way he comes into it. That kind of beat drop that he does, where he's like, I wish I could sidechain a kick. I also want to talk about the chorus. That's just fantastic. Or what serves as kind of the chorus. Where is it? Lil Bruce Wayne, I'm so special with it. Beyond your reach, trying to break up all these Terry McGinnis. Bruce Wayne, a Batman Beyond reference, which is crazy. No one ever really talks about Terry McGinnis like that. I still feel like he should get his own movie. As a side tangent, but motherfucker's dope. Like Canelo putting on the clinic, again, a boxing reference. You have a Batman and a boxing reference on this hard ass track with this badass beat. And then as soon as he's done with that, it just drops this fantastic, like, synth. I don't even know what to call it, synth shit. That's just super, super sick. And, you know, at first I was thinking about him. I don't know if he was talking about himself as being, like, you know, sick, nervous, and broke. I feel like every time I post this, people are assuming that that's what the song's, like, about, or, like, that's what it's kind of relating to. But I think he's just in his ops on this one, to be honest with you. I think he's talking about, like, his opposition being sick, nervous, and broke. Okay, so my next favorite track would be The Ghost of Ranking Dread. I love this song. It's more low-key. It's more chill. The way he comes in where he's like, uh-oh. He's talking about baby moms. Won't stop harassing me. I can't keep up with these girls. What does he say, bro? There's more than dick in this world. I just want quiet and peace. The way he, like, says it, and then it kind of switches up to the next one where it's like, and then it goes into the line where he's like, she says, I'm done with you, having more fun with you, taking back to the streets, watch your tone when you talk to this geek, Chopper Don't Jam is like one of your beats. I was like, fuck, bro, like, this is one of the reasons why I love JPEGMafia, because his rhymes, like I said, he's very direct with this shit. There's no fucking around. Like I said, there's no fucking around. You know what he's talking about. You know what I'm saying? There's no, like, tiptoeing around shit, which is one of the reasons why, like I said, mentioned earlier, I really fuck with his music, because you don't really need genius, bro. Like, obviously you need it for certain reasons, and I love it because I love the lyric cards that they fucking are, like, you're able to make with them. Like, for the most part, bro, you could get what the fuck he's saying, and you can understand his references and understand what he's trying to get across on the track, which I think he always does a fantastic job. But on this one specifically, with the production being the way it is, it just sounds super smooth on the ears. And the way it switches up at the end with these badass horns is fantastic. I love that track so much. Okay, my last favorite track on the album, I guess I'm just giving 3 out, but the whole album's fantastic. S tier for sure already, spoiler alert, is Rebound. Oh shit. Rebound, which is actually a diss to Arm & Hammer, which I believe is really a diss to Lucid from Arm & Hammer. I don't know if Billy Woods really had beef like that. And I know by the time of this recording, they're already made up. And I think there's a tweet of JPEG where he says, you know, I squashed beef like a man today, or some shit like that, where he kind of, like, you know, alluded to, like, him and Billy Woods kind of working together, him and Arm & Hammer working together. And I believe on We Buy Diabetic Test Strips, JPEG produced a couple songs on there. But a little context before this, I believe they dissed him on, from what I understand, JPEG made a beat for them. They didn't want to use it, or they didn't want to do something with it, or they were going to use it. I can't remember the logistics of it, but I think JPEG was just like, yo, like, don't use that shit, or don't, like, I don't want my name associated with it, or something like that. And then they made a record called Leopards, which was on, not Haram, the one before that shit with the tiger, whatever album that is. They made a diss track called Leopards towards him, and he came back with Rebound, and Rebound is just fantastic. He dissed him on another song, I forgot what it was. Rebound, bro. If I ever get a chance to talk to JPEG, I have to ask him, like, bro, this shit, I have to at least tell him that, like, this is one of the hardest diss tracks I've ever heard in my life. Like, the aggressiveness, you could just tell that he wasn't, like, he was just ready for the shits, you know. And one thing, you know, I've learned listening to JPEGMafia is that he's with the shits, bro. He don't fuck around. He's willing to, like, you know, he always talk about buying a ticket to get beat up at his show, and I believe him. You know, he don't fuck around. There's a video of him recently in Brazil, and they were trying to scam him on some shit, and he was just straight up cursing people out and being like, man, suck my dick, like, what the fuck y'all doing over here? And, like, because they were trying to play him, but he's about it. So this track featuring JPEGMafia is so hard, bro. It's just so fucking tough. The lines on here, you know, fix that verse, you Wizard of Oz rapping motherfuckers, which, like I said, by this point they're all cool. Everyone's cool, and I actually like Arm & Hammer a lot, and Billy Wood specifically. But still, the disses were hard. I can't front, bro. Like, the disses were, like, really, really hard. When he says fix that verse, you Wizard of Oz rapping motherfuckers, because if you're not aware of, like, Arm & Hammer or Billy Woods or Lucid, they kind of have this, like, unlimited flow where they just keep rhyming over, like, whether it be on beat, off beat, like, they're just going off. It's not really like Milo. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Milo or Rat Ferrara, who kind of does this, like, almost like spoken word poetry kind of thing. They're flowing. It's just more of, like, they're, like I said, just nonstop, like a nonstop flow, a runoff flow, I think it was called. But that diss just made me fucking crack up, bro. How you talk shit, but you get caught with no pole. Fuck your mother, brother, sister, and niece. Like, god damn, dog. Like, and then the way he, like, his inflections on certain lines, where he's like, all the shit you did to your girl, I just wish you'd do it to me. The way he says me, it's, like, fucking funny. One of my favorite songs, one of my favorite diss songs. If he ever performs this shit live when I'm around, I'm just gonna lose my shit, because it's one of my favorite songs on the album. But yeah, to wrap my thoughts up on LP, fantastic record, perfect. Like I said, a perfect showcase of JPEGMafia. If you want to show anyone JPEGMafia's music, I'd throw this on for sure. Offline, I'd definitely throw the offline version on, just because I believe there's different mixes, or not mixes, sorry, there's different samples that were cleared on offline that are not on LP, and both are available on DSP. So there's like the fucking Hotline Bling on the beginning of Damn Damn Damn, another great song, randomly. And there's also, what else did he fucking include, bro? Hazard Duty Pay. Oh my god, Hazard Duty Pay, one of his most popular songs. Hazard Duty Pay, which is such a banger, isn't on LP, it's on offline, which is a pain in the ass, because to bring everything back around, I prefer the cover of LP, the one that I'm having up here right now. The offline one's cool with the liquor store. Then there's another one that I think where it's like him and his girl in, like, a bathroom or some shit like that. That one's straight too, but it kind of reminds me of, like, the other one. But yeah, I love that blue cover so much, bro, with the smoke. Perfect. It's literally perfect. And then there's, like, an animated one on Apple Music that looks sick as fuck. So LP is definitely going into the S tier category. We're finally caught up with present day, or kind of present day. This was released last year. Scaring the Hoes with my boy Danny Brown. I mean, do I need to say it? Another S tier album. I actually reviewed this album on my channel. I think I was like, I can't remember if I was hungover or drunk. I think I was drunk at the time I recorded it, and I haven't watched that video since I fucking made it, to be honest with you, so I don't know if that's a mess or not. But if you look at my channel, look at album reviews, it'll be on there. I think I was at a pool party or some shit, but a fantastic record. One of my favorites from last year. I think it was my most played album last year. I did the review, like I mentioned earlier, and also on my Apple Replay, I talk about it as well. And also my Apple Replay for 2023 is kind of the other JPEG video, because he was my #1 artist, man. He's like my boy. Anyway, getting back to this album, man, I did not know what to expect going into this. At the time of the whole shit, I remember being like, what the fuck, Danny Brown and JPEG? That's crazy. You know what I mean? Like a crazy combination that I just didn't expect. And I think JPEG was on, fuck, bro, I don't know if he was on, what the fuck is it, the cover where Danny Brown's kind of like, it's like a bunch of them, it's like super colorful. I forgot which one it was, but I'm pretty sure JPEG's on a song on there. So they had worked together before, but the fact that they were giving us a whole album, and he wants about like a perfect length. Let me give you the time of this album. So Scaring the Hoes was 14 tracks, 36 minutes, perfect. I just think the way they blended each other, or the way they bounced off of each other, was fantastic. I believe Peggy has a video on his channel of them making this shit a little bit, or you kind of see them making some of the songs, which I recommend checking out if you're into the album. I think the first time I listened to it, I was kind of like, damn, I can't really understand what the fuck he's saying, but it just kind of made me read the lyrics more, to be honest with you, so I didn't really mind it. And then after a while, I kind of did, I was able to hear what he was saying. Is just the production. Peggy's productions is crazy, you know what I'm saying? I'm real focused on that. My ears kind of divert to that first, because it's kind of the first thing you hear before you hear, like, Danny rapping. But Danny was rapping his ass off on this. Lean Beef Patty, fucking, and the title to some of these songs, bro: Lean Beef Patty, Step a Pig, was it Garbage Pail Kids, Perfect, Shut Your Bitch Ass Up, Ho, Heaven on Earth. Just fantastic, funny ass titles. Like I said, JPEG always nails that and knocks it out of the park. But yeah, it's a project that I really love. I really think it pushed the envelope when it comes to collaborations, and it really shows. And I think I believe he said this on another interview, but he had mentioned how, like, he feels like there's no rules in hip hop. You know, people always talk about, like, there needs to be this, there needs to be that. You have to follow these guidelines. Rap needs to sound like this. Rap needs to sound like that. And you kind of see it with, like, young people, or I don't really want to say millennials because it sounds so fucking cringe, but like old heads, or like new school shit. I don't know. I'll just throw in those terms, but where they want rap to sound a certain way, or like new fans want rap to sound a certain way. And JPEG just doesn't do any of that shit, man. Like, he throws it out he throws this is the book, this is the rule book. He just tosses it. And having the confidence that he has in his production, especially working with someone like Danny, who, like, you know, you have to kind of play off of. I think it worked incredibly well. I really enjoyed the album. Like I said, if you want to hear my more in-depth thoughts, I do have a video album review, so you kind of hear that. And I kind of threw up a lot of lyric cards and shit like that to some of the funny ass shit they were saying on this. But as for now, I'll give you guys my 3 favorite songs on the album. Okay, first one will be Step a Pig, which is just a funny fucking title, but JPEG's verse, and specifically his, like, I want to say his second to last verse. Let me pull it up real quick, because he has some fantastic fucking lines on here, bro. Let me see. Danny sounds really good on it too, but man, I really think Step a Pig showcases JPEG a lot on this one. These people be dick riding for grown-ass men that don't even know them. They don't even come outside, don't ever see man's late night like Conan. They offer that 2chan high in cells, just can't let it go like Frozen. Bet if I let off these shots, no games, you finna just dance like Gotenks. So you got a Dragon Ball Z reference, a fucking Frozen reference. He mentions incels, which is fucking hilarious to me. Conan O'Brien reference. Just fantastic, man. Who the fuck is talking about shit like that? You know what I mean? Who the fuck is, like, mentioning and rapping the way he was? And he was going off, bro. And seeing this shit live, I should have said that. So I seen these guys perform this last year in August, and it's kind of funny because I'm seeing JPEG this August 31st, which is kind of funny to me that it's kind of like a whole year around I'm kind of seeing him again, which I'm really looking forward to, by the way. But seeing this song perform live was insane, bro. Peggy's just rapping and rapping and rapping. It does not stop. I don't know what kind of breath control he has or what, but Jesus Christ. A beast, bro. This is a beast performance by JPEGMafia on this song. Let me get into my second favorite track. It'd be Perfect. So the reason why I picked Perfect, even though it's an awesome song for sure, but this is actually the first song that I saw them perform live. And I'm wondering if I could find the clip while I'm editing this. They were at I believe Danny was at some festival, and they kind of brought out JPEGMafia to perform this song. And seeing them both on stage, that was the first time where you kind of got an idea of, like, okay, this shit could work, and this shit could be really hard. And they performed this song Perfect, and just seeing the way JPEGMafia's, like, energy, he's almost like crouched down, and just like the way he flows on stage and shit like that. But it was such high energy, and I was just like, oh fuck, bro, like, hearing this shit live would be crazy. And the like regular audio version is insane. It really feels like some kind of like Super Smash Brothers, like Mortal Kombat, just like a battle. It sounds like a fucking battle, or pro wrestling, like, events about to happen. You know what I mean? Like some kind of epic ass shit. And my last favorite track on here would be Kingdom Hearts Key. You have Red Veil featured on this song, which is a really young artist. I don't even know how young he is, but goddamn, he has to be like 20 something. Yeah, I think he's younger than me, to be honest with you. You have JPEG starting off the track rapping well, and then there's a beat switch. There's like a beat switch, and then there's like a lot of clarity in like his production and vocals and everything. He's like, look where my hairline has came, which is a fucking funny ass line. He has mentions of Michael Bisping on this shit. I was champ one time, Bisping. It's fucking hilarious, dude. Like I said, super specific, and very like niche shit. Well, I mean, Michael Bisping was a UFC champ, but still, like, who the fuck? I feel like people would kind of point to like a John Jones and like a Michael Bisping. You get me? But yeah. Anyway, like, fantastic shit by him. Danny Brown goes off on that shit. What line did he say, bro? He's like, no Nobu, bitch, you get Coney. Basically telling this girl, like, you ain't getting no fucking Nobu. Like, we eating at Coney Island. Like, just funny fucking shit like that. And then Redville, a young fucking guy comes in and just fucking kills it, dude. Knocks it out of the park where he's kind of like, especially towards the end where he's just like yelling on the track or yelling every other word. Or I don't even know if those were his ad-libs or not, but Jesus Christ, it's super aggressive, super high energy. I really was hoping for him to come out at the Houston show, but he ended up popping up. But I saw a couple shows where like online where he like popped up and kind of was like a surprise, and people like, he was well received. Everyone was hyped about him, and you love seeing that for a young artist. You know what I mean? Young seeing that. You know, that was a good confident booster to him. But yeah, guys. Before I move on, and this is the S tier, by the way. Scaring the Hoes for sure S tier. I didn't want to talk about the other album covers. So the first one was fucking Kim Jong-un and Donald Trump just kind of walking, which I guess was, I don't know if that's the original cover or alternate cover. I definitely prefer the blaxploitation Danny Brown JPEGMafia with two guns in their hand and a Bible. Just fucking killer, bro. That shit is a poster, straight up. That's going to S tier. So after this, they actually released a DLC pack, which is hilarious, by the way. Like, the fact that they called it the DLC pack, and there's actually a video featuring all the songs on there, a music video that's fucking hilarious. You have like a RoboCop, those like fucking dog robots, you know what I'm talking about? Those like, they're not called canines. I don't forget what the fuck they're called, but they're at like a strip club, and one of them is like dancing on the fucking stage and shit. It's hilarious. But I mentioned this earlier during the LP, when I was talking about LP segment. The Scaring the Hoes DLC to me is S tier for sure, but also I think it's the most accessible music JPEG has made. I think this is the most accessible he's been, man. I think this is, if I were to send someone some shit, it would be this, to be honest with you. Just, it's super easy. It's just a super easy listen. It's 4 tracks. They're all really, really fucking good. The Guess What Bitch We Back, how he samples fucking SpongeBob SquarePants and Sandy the Squirrel. The whole "No You Ain't" shit, which was fucking funny as fuck. And then the way JPEG comes in, that money didn't save you, bitch. Them dogs gonna save you, bitch. Hilarious. It's funny. He's flowing his ass off on that. But it's kind of like club mix almost. It feels like a very like almost like a club atmosphere, like a very like, I don't know, shit makes me want to move a little bit. That bleeds into Hermanos, which is just another fantastic song. Production is insane. He actually like finishes the song off with his badass beats, which just sounds insane. I almost wanted him to keep flowing on it, to be honest with you. It sounded so good. Then you have like another kind of introspective song with Tell Me Where to Go. Fucking Danny Brown's voice is totally different like that. He's not high pitched or anything like that on this song. He does that voice, and he has a couple other songs where he's doing that voice, but this one in particular was like really, really well done. Great verse from Danny, and you have JPEG come in talking about like, again, another like kind of the first early signs of like the introspective shit that he kind of did on his latest album. He's talking about like, when I was banging this chick, I was singing of you because I'm still a child. And then he has this fucking sample where it's like, I assume it's from AEW, where I think it's fucking who's the guy with the mask, bro? I forgot his name. It's not fucking Taz, and it's not the guy from WCW. God, what's his name? I forgot his name, bro. To be honest with you, the guy with the mask, don't fucking only mask commentator, where he's like, strong words there from JPEGMafia. Fantastic. His little like producer tags are like the best. Okay, then that goes into no, and it ends the album on a fantastic note. To me, this is a perfect project, straight up. There's nothing I would change about this. There's nothing, I wouldn't even change the order, to be honest with you. It's just super sick. This is like super short, clean work. I think it's like a total of like 15 minutes, maybe 16 minutes. There's no fat on this. It's just fucking killer. This is like to me, this is like perfect shit. Perfect project, everything. I wouldn't change a thing. Perfect. This one features, what the fuck was it, bro? Let me see the shit on my phone. It was like Kim Jong-un. I'm going with the original cover, by the way, the little vape DLC shit, which I think they actually had USB vapes, which is like hilarious. What was it? Oh shit, sorry. So the alternate cover is Vladimir Putin with, I don't want to say homeboy's name, I'm gonna be disrespectful, but the Chinese governor or the Chinese president, I don't know what it is, but They're both shaking hands and shit like that, which was the alternate cover for the DLC pack, which is fucking funny. But yeah, S tier 100%. Okay, and that'll lead us to 2024's I Lay Down My Life For You, which just dropped last Friday, or last Thursday, I think. It's tough, man, because he's at that point now where, like, every project you could say this is his best, which is, I think, a group, you know, far and few between. I could think of, like, Tyler, the Creator, maybe, Kendrick Lamar, you know, artists on that kind of echelon where it's like, Jesus Christ, like, he's dropped something like this, and you could... You know, and at first I was apprehensive, man. I was apprehensive because I'm going to do my review separately, so I'll kind of link it down below and where I kind of talk about each track, because it's not a long album, and kind of break down and go into details for each of them. But just my general thoughts and kind of a week, you know, listening to it over and over again. It was, man, I was pretty blown away, bro. I thought Sin Miedo was a really good single, as well as Don't Rely on Other Men. Although Don't Rely on Other Men, I fuck with it, but I fuck with the album version way more, to be honest with you. This one sounds insane. We're talking about Sinaloa. I cut off heads like Sinaloa, like basically referencing the cartel. Fucking nuts. But yeah, very rock. And you could kind of feel this shit, bro. Like if you look at like a song like In Credits off of LP, where he has that fucking Arn Anderson promo, and it goes into like electric guitar where he's just rapping. It always sounded like the electric guitar in his music was always like tucked to the back. You know, it was there, but it wasn't as present as on this. On this, it sounds clear. On this, the guitar sound clear. The drums sound, you know, it sounds like live drums and everything, which I'm curious. I'm going to see him on August 31st, and I'm curious if he's going to have a live band with him. I would hope so, because I think it would do him I think it would level his shit up completely. Although I do like where he's just him and his laptop. I think that's actually like really wholesome and like really cool. Like I said, man, it's at that point where like I first heard it all the way through, and I was like, Jesus, like, is this his best? You know, honestly, like, no bullshit. I was like, is this his best album to date? And it's definitely S tier, spoiler alert. But man, it really has me thinking like, is this shit better than LP? You know, I really am thinking about like how I should rank these. Well, this is the last one on there, but if I should put this, I mean, there's no other fucking tier than S, but I don't know if I would put it above LP, man. LP is really good, but god damn, this one's like really, it's different. It's super, super different. And I will say this, I think this is his most cohesive project. In terms of, I think he achieved everything he wanted to achieve on these songs, to be honest with you. I can't see, I mean, maybe, you know, he'll talk about it later in the interview, saying that like, oh, I wish I could have put this on, or maybe we get like a deluxe or some shit, which would be dope. But I feel like everything he set out to do on this album, he accomplished. Whether it's like him sampling fucking AI Future, or like the Wu-Tang, you know, infused with like punk rock and like metal fucking thing, that kind of collaboration he did with that was fantastic. And on top of that, he's rapping his ass off, bro. Some of the best rapping he's ever done. Tell Me Where to Go, not Tell Me Where to Go, I'll Be There, is like, god damn, bro. Like the way he was rapping on that, you know how many times I ran that track back, bro? Like the first time I heard it, I had to run it back like 4 or 5 fucking times, dude. I sent it to everybody I knew, because like amongst my friends, I'm probably like one of 3 or maybe one of 4 JPEGMafia, like people who actively listen to him. Shout out to Eric, shout out to my brother Nick, shout out to Andres, and I'm trying to think the other one, Paul. I guess Paul went to the show last year. Shout out to Paul. But yeah, dude, just fantastic. Immediately, as soon as I heard that song, I was sending it fucking those links on iMessages all the time, or immediately rather. But yeah, I don't want to get too deep into the whole album, because I am going to do a separate review, like I said. But it blew me away. I really enjoyed the fusion he did with almost punk. I want to say punk, metal, and rap. He didn't do it in a fucking corny ass like early 2000s new metal way. He did it in a unique hip hop way. And this is a side tangent, but I always thought to myself like, yo, like hip hop and rap, they're the rock stars, bro. You hear like Playboi Carti or Lil Uzi mention like I'm a rock star on like their album. I forgot what fucking album it is, but it's one of the Playboi Cartis where it's like I'm a rock star, and it's true. These motherfuckers are rock stars, bro. Like these rappers are rock stars. They're like the new age rock stars. They like carry themselves as it. They dress like it, even to wear like the nails, the jewelry and shit. they're punk rock. Some of them are really punk rock. Especially I think JPEG exemplifies punk rock to a T. So shout out to him. But let me get into my favorite tracks before my fucking camera dies. Okay, so I already talked about I'll Be Right There, or I'll Be Right There, I guess. I thought it was I'll Be Here. After that, be Ex-Military, which was like, I immediately thought of fucking They Who Should Not Be Named, who I'm a big fan of Death Grips, but I immediately thought of that, but he made it his own with the Here Comes the Pain. It wasn't even a sample. I think it was JPEGMafia just being, I bring the pain, I bring the pain. Pretty sure that's just him saying it, but hard as fuck. The whole like him like damn near barking, the whole like grunting shit just oof fucking got me hyped, bro. And you know the last one was gonna be tough, man. I was either gonna put I recovered from this because I don't know if I mentioned this on the other fucking House of Dragon shit, but I've been going through a lot of shit with my car and just stress has just fucking been killing me recently, to be honest with you. But so that kind of like, you know, the whole introspective shit and the gentleness of that song and the subtleness and the absolute like it feels like it's almost baseline. It feels like it's almost baseline, but in the most perfect way. You know what I mean? It stays at like a certain level, and the shit at the end kind of elevates it a bit. But man, it's just perfect. I love that song a lot. But I think I'm gonna go with On and Off the Drugs. Sampling, like I said, the Future. There's like an AI fucking version of the Future song that he like somehow like killed, bro, with the guitar. The way he starts rapping about on the guitar towards the end, fantastic. But there's an alternate album cover for this one as well. There's him with the belt, which is it kind of looks like the AEW belt, but him with the championship belt, and then him by a cross. I actually for this one would go with the championship belt. I think that it fucking feels like a victory lap. It feels like a championship win. You know what I mean? It's Jeff Hardy winning the fucking belt finally. It's Shawn Michaels winning the belt. You know what I'm saying? It seems like a victorious moment, and he deserves it. Shout out to JPEGMafia, man. If you're watching this somehow, I think you absolutely deserve your flowers. You're one of the most creative people I've ever listened to by far, bro. Like, you're always doing shit differently. I never know what to expect on these tracks. Killer shit. Absolute killer. Go ahead and end the video off, guys. Let me know what your favorite JPEG project is. This is really fun, honestly. This is like really fun. I think the next one I'll do will maybe be Kendrick, if Kendrick ends up dropping, or like maybe another big release. I would have done Vultures, but the timing of it, I just got more like I was more attracted to the JPEGMafia album than I was the Vultures 2 album, to be honest with you. But let me know what other artists you would want to see Discography dives for. I had posted this on my story, and I think I got like Beyonce, which I think will be different. I've never really listened to her like that. Charlie XCX would be kind of cool, or XCX, no, or some shit like that, or XCC, some shit like that. Should be dope to do. A little Carly Rae Jepsen, maybe, you know, some different, or rock bands. Just let me know what the fuck. I'm down for anything. I listen to everything. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please like, subscribe, do the little bell thingy, and yeah. That'll be it. I kind of want to end it quick because I'm going to do the review right after this and I have to edit everything tonight. So in order to save me some fucking time, appreciate everything, guys. Thank you so much. See you next time. Adios.